All right, we are live. Good
Good
morning.
morning, everyone, and welcome to Cup Chat with Birding with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. Super excited. Bryan is joining us this morning, and Maureen is on. We've had a great night last night at our virtual birding seminar. So thank you to all who tuned in and TOS for being a partner. But today we're going to throw the reins at Maureen, and she is going to take us on this little Cup Chat adventure. We're throwing all the rules out. So Maureen, you're in charge of Cup Chat today.
Thanks. And that doesn't mean that it's any more formal than it would be otherwise. I just thought about, things that would be fun to talk about because this will be our last Cup Chat of the year. Next time we Cup Chat with everybody, it will be 2021.
I'm going to hope that that's going to be the difference between 2020 and 2021 being better.
That sounds
that we take 2 weeks off.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, I think everybody could use 2 weeks off right now. So, but I think we've had some fun this year, and I think we've done some good stuff. And so, hopefully, I want to talk about that. But first, we have to talk about, because Bryan and I were both ready for this. We have to talk about what's in my cup. And thinking about what's in my cup actually may have kept me awake a little bit last night. But first I want Bryan to talk about what's in his cup because it sounds absolutely delicious, and he has an awesome mug for it too.
So I made a caramel chai tea, and I added the Starbucks caramel creamer into it.
Caramel macchiato creamer, get it right.
Caramel macchiato creamer. Sorry, I don't drink a lot of hot breakfast beverages, but this one is delicious.
Isn't the caramel macchiato creamer the best? Please tell me you got that from me at Learn to Bird.
Of course. And this mug was given to me by one of our participants, April. So
you gotta turn it around so we can see the whole. It's an Austin mug, but it's got a bat on it, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Very cool. We like all things with wings. Not just birds.
Yeah.
Okay, what's in your cup? Do you also have caramel macchiato in your cup?
So I'm drinking out of my Portland, Oregon cup. So my sister gets me a cup every time she travels from Starbucks, whether it's a different country or a different state in the United States. So I'm in Portland today. Thanks, sis. I am a bit disgusted with what's in my cup. I kind of told y'all this last week before we started, but the coffee out of my Keurig is not hot enough. It's not strong enough. I need the real stuff. So yes, I have, so I do a little thing funny with my coffee. I mix, and I stole this from somewhere, so shamelessly a steal. I mix regular breakfast Folgers with the French vanilla at about a quarter vanilla coffee and 3/4 regular coffee. And I put that in my Keurig cup, and then, so it's got the best part is the smell. You don't really get the vanilla flavor. But of course, yes, I use the caramel macchiato creamer. And I don't know, this is really why I use it. And this is really stupid, but we'll see. So I think I don't add sugar because it has enough sweetener in it for me, the creamer already. And so it makes me feel better about drinking my morning cup of coffee, so I'm not pouring 2 tablespoons of sugar in my coffee. So it probably works out just about the same, but I feel better about it. That's what's in my cup today.
I like it. I like it. So I love tea, but I don't normally drink coffee, but I do have coffee today, and my mug is it's got some little leaves on it, but it's not anything particularly interesting. But this is something that actually I did, and then also found out that Emily does or used to do, but we did kind of come up with it independently, is that sometimes for a treat, I like to put a packet of hot chocolate in with my coffee. And it definitely is not a health food, but it makes coffee taste a lot better because it's really not my favorite taste. So I do have a cup of shade-grown coffee, which it occurred to me that coffee and birds should be a whole cup chat. I'm going to find a good guest next year and talk about shade-grown coffee and just how coffee and birds can go together, like how we talk about birds and ranching can go together. But you got to do it in a certain way. And so, yeah, so there's hot chocolate, and then I then I add some half and half because it's not unhealthy enough. But I just like my coffee really
for the
creamy.
heavy whipping cream. I would go a step further.
Yeah, no, I went for the half and half because then there's also whipped cream and
Oh,
cinnamon sprinkled on top of that. So this is, I do not normally have a cup of coffee like this, but this is what my cup of coffee looks like today. And this is the part that I was thinking about in the middle of the night last night, because yesterday we had lunch at just a cute, yummy bakery. And when I was in grad school, for anybody who's gone through grad school, you can probably sympathize with this. You doubt yourself a lot, and it's such a challenging experience that you go through periods where, like, every day or multiple times a day, you just question your life. And so my backup plan was always that if I failed out of grad school or dropped out of grad school, that I could open a bakery. Now, mind you, I have no training in bakeries or business or anything like that, so I don't know that it was really the best backup plan. Thankfully, I didn't need that backup plan. But I think that I don't know, it's something that my husband and I talk about. We think it'd be fun to open a bakery. And so the one we were at yesterday just had, a very small menu. Like, there's a soup of the day, sandwiches, salads, and then a lot of different cookies. Like, that's their thing, especially for Christmas time. Had a bunch of different cookies. And so that's like their big changing menu. And what I was thinking would be super fun is if I owned a bakery, I would want to have a bunch of coffee, and then it would be super fun to have shade grown coffees and give the different drinks bird names. And so this is what I was trying to think about in the middle of the night last night, was what if I was going to name this drink after a bird, what would I name it? And the first thing that jumped to my mind was cinnamon teal, because there's cinnamon in it, but I don't know that necessarily makes the most sense. Maybe it does, because we get those here in the winter and it's kind of a wintry drink. But anyhow, normally Emily is the one who makes me nervous with giveaways, but I am going to make Emily nervous with a surprise giveaway this morning.
Oh my God, we are real. Oh, guys, I don't even know what is happening today. That is I'm having an out of body experience. I must be in Uvalde, dressed and looking like Maureen. She's A, doing a giveaway. B, she's gone off on a random tangent about owning a bakery. I'm really concerned about her health. I'm going to text her husband that she needs to make sure she probably has to lay down after cup chat tonight.
Yeah, I might. It may entirely have to do with being up too late, and thinking about this coffee way too much.
Well, I went to bed early. Oh my God.
Something may have happened. There may have been like a body swap that occurred. Okay, so the giveaway is, I don't know who of y'all remember when Andrew Stillman was on and talked about woodpeckers, but he had super cool mugs that when you poured something hot into them, the bird silhouettes turned into, then it showed the colors. And I found those online. So the giveaway is, we name this drink. And whoever, Emily and Bryan and I will vote. You have to do it by.
It's a fun giveaway.
It's a fun giveaway.
Awesome.
It has nothing to do with science or learning or anything. It's a fun giveaway. So I don't know, maybe by Friday. By Friday, in the comments, you have to type your name and what county you're from if you're from Texas, or your name and your state if you're not from Texas. And I want you to name this drink, and whoever comes up with our favorite name will send you a mug with the bird silhouettes and a Birding with Extension sticker, because we can't let you get away with something not Birding with Extension branded. So,
well, you are just a ball full of fun this morning, Maureen.
I am. I'm ready to go.
I should let you take up chat more often.
Either that or I should drink coffee more often. I don't know.
Well, I just have never added the cinnamon on top. I think that's an interesting touch.
It's good. It's very good. It's kind of, like the Mexican hot chocolate where it's got that little bit of cinnamon and spice. It's, living in Uvalde. Well, you're in Del Rio. That fits well too. So.
Yes. Well, and I think that's so cute. If you own a bakery, I'll come to the dishes.
Thanks. That sounds good. We've got a deal. You're hired.
You better be the best bus boy job ever, because I'm not doing Birding with Extension without you. I'm just saying.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Neat.
Sounds
I've
good.
never heard that story about you wanting to own a bakery.
Yeah, I just think it'd be fun. It's one of those things that, like, baking for me is super relaxing. So I think when you're like under the stress of grad school, you're like, I could do something relaxing for a living instead of something stressful. But you just have those moments and then you work your way through. So
That's so funny. Okay, so then I don't know where you were taking Cup Chat, but I'm taking it back for just a second.
that's
So
fine.
Bryan, let's go. That's kind of a funny thing that like her, random life choice would be to own a bakery. Do you have I have a random life dream goal thing like that. Do you?
Hmm.
You want me to share mine oh, you've got it now. Go,
But
go.
like, I did want to be. I actually also am like not super opposed to opening a bakery. I think that would be really fun.
All right, got a partner.
My problem with that would be that like bakers have to wake up at like 3 a.m. to start baking.
True. That's why I'm the dishwasher. They have to get there at 9.
There you go. Yeah. So I can wake up early for birds, but I love to bake, but I don't know that I would wake up at 3 a.m. to go bake.
So the trick is we need to situate the bakery. There's going to be like Bryan's house and the bakery and like the best birding place ever in between those two. Maybe best owling, because that's kind of the only thing that would be out. And then every morning he can be birding on his way to work and it'll get him up.
That's funny.
Maybe. that is one of the hard, yeah, I get up so early. That's early even for me. I get up early, but 3 o'clock is, that's extra early.
The only time I've seen 3 a.m. was when I saw it on the back end of a day. I've never seen it on the front end. I really don't think. So that's so funny. Okay, so I want my like big weird dream is I want to remodel an old house or an old downtown building and do something with it. I mean, I don't know what I would do with it, but I want like a house, like I think a house in an old downtown building or apartment would be so cool. So that's kind of, it's not really I guess I'd have to turn it into the business to pay for it. But if Birding with Extension was to ever get its own building, I would lobby that we find enough money to redo a historic downtown building so that way I could fulfill my dream too.
That'd be super cool. And I will say, I mean, for anybody who's, like if you follow us on Instagram and you saw it when we had the competition between Emily and Bryan's centerpieces at Learn to Bird, their fall centerpieces, Emily has some serious skill at decorating and remodeling. So I think that would be cool. If I was independently wealthy, I would fund you to redo historic buildings.
Aw, thank you.
Or now our bakery, me and Bryan are going to start a bakery and it has to be wildly successful. And then you can restore historic buildings with those funds.
Or we could restore a historic building and then I could decorate it and then you could put your bakery in it.
Put the bakery in. See, that's a good idea too. That would
and
be
run Birding with Extension out of the back door.
We could do the bakery downstairs and then the Birding with Extension is upstairs.
Ooh,
upstairs.
There we go. There we go. And we'll all live together in the upstairs loft.
Sure.
Lucy can come and the new baby can come, but Philip, no.
Okay. Birding with Extension staff only.
Yes, and their children.
Okay.
Okay, so now I know we have maybe a birdie topic. We've gone off on tangents. Okay, so I'm going to give it back, Maureen. You can have it back.
Well, it's still a very discussion-y thing, but I wanted to see what each of y'all's favorite cup chat of the year was, because something fun that Emily and I are going to do is we are going to highlight our top 5 most viewed cup chats on Facebook. So we're going to kind of do like a countdown and repost those videos going from like, I guess 5 days before the most popular one will show up on New Year's Eve. Yeah. And then we'll go back from there. So, but just because some have had the most views doesn't mean that those are necessarily our favorite. I haven't even looked yet to see which ones have the most views. So maybe my favorite does have the most views, but I wanted to ask you guys, what was your favorite cup chat from this year? And I have mine, if you want me to start while you're thinking.
Oh, well, isn't that fancy? You have time to prepare.
Well, no, you can, go for it if you want. I have 2. So if somebody else shares.
It's funny. I was going to say I have 2 too.
Okay, well, go for it.
Okay, so I've loved all of our guests. Don't get me wrong. I've loved everybody we've had on. I do really love when it's the 3 of us and we're just chatting or just, sorry, Bryan, sometimes you didn't wake up and so it was the 2 of us. And I like when we just chat like this. So sometimes I like those, but that's really not my favorite. I think I have two. I really enjoyed Carlos last week, and I think part of that was for me seeing Carlos again. He was the first guide I'd ever guided with birded without birded with that wasn't Bryan. He's so fun, and it kind of just took me back to our memories at Rio Grande. And I just want to go back to Rio Grande Birding Festival, and B, I miss everybody and want to see everybody again. So I think that was one. My second favorite Cub chat was probably Marcy with Lancy and Sky and the binoculars. One, because I now have a new understanding of the value of binoculars, because I truly used, so remember those old ugly binoculars I had during the Cub chat? I saw bluebirds in my yard for the first time the other day. I posted it on Facebook, y'all know. And I used those instead of running to the house to get my good binoculars because I was afraid I was going to lose my birds, and tried to take a picture through them, and it was just it was awful. And so I now have a very newfound respect, and after listening to Marcy's Cub chat, why my binoculars are so important. So those are my two. I'm glad I went first because hopefully those aren't your two.
Well, I'll let Bryan go next.
I really enjoyed both of those also, so I'll pick two different ones. So one for sure is the one where we got to announce Rio Diablo Birding Camp, just because I've been looking forward to that forever, and that was just kind of like the big reveal moment. So that was very exciting for me.
Ooh, tell them the good news from last night, though.
Right, that's our other most exciting thing about this Cub chat.
Yeah, so we had our virtual birding seminar last night, and it was a fundraiser for Rio Diablo Birding Camp, and we raised over about
$1,200. Yeah,
about $1,200, and that's going to go and reduce the price by $100 per participant for Rio Diablo Birding Camp. So we can now say that Rio Diablo Birding Camp 2021 will cost each participant no more than $900. So that is super exciting. Every time we can raise funds or get donations and chip away at that cost for kids, it just makes it more accessible and more affordable for them. So that's the whole goal of the camp. So I couldn't be more excited about that. And I guess my second favorite Cub chat would be, I really enjoyed the series of, getting all of our different guides on and talking with them. And I really enjoyed the one that I was on with Martina and getting to hear her story and all of that. So I just like getting to connect with the people who we partner with and hearing their stories. So those are my two favorites, I would say.
Absolutely. Oh, those were good ones. Good points.
Those are good ones. And the other thing I'll say for the virtual birding seminars, we did have some internet issues last night. Well, we didn't have internet issues.
We did not.
Apparently Google had internet issues. And if you
They're the people who shouldn't have internet issues. They run the internet, right?
Basically. But if you have a Gmail account or Gmail email, if you have a Gmail and you didn't get your link, that is possibly why, because we had a lot of those come back, but we did record the whole thing. So if you had paid and registered, you will get to watch the recording. And if you're still interested in making a donation for Rio Diablo Birding Camp, any donation that you make of $25 or more from this point on, we'll send you the link to those recordings. So if that's something you're interested in, I know it's the end of the year and everybody and their dog is asking you to donate for things, but as you're thinking about end of the year donations, keep that in mind. And yeah, if it's $25 or more, we'll send you the link to watch those seminars as well, because we really appreciate being able to make this more affordable for our youth. So
good points. Okay, your turn.
Okay, so my favorite two, well, Emily stole one of them, and then Bryan came up with two, so now I have to come up with another one, a different one. But one of my favorites was also having Marcy from Lancy and Sky talk about binoculars, because I learned so much, and I learned from a lot of our different speakers, but just like Emily was saying, I came to appreciate even more binoculars and their care. And I had previously experienced, you know, the difference between those old binoculars and like regular ones and really nice ones. But that was really, I just learned a lot during that talk. My other favorite one I mentioned was Andrew Stillman's one about the woodpeckers, just because to me as a scientist, it's really fun to get to hear about how other people are doing their research. And his, you know, especially was very timely with the fires that we had this year out west and talking about a bird that needs fires. But of course, when you have really big, really severe fires, that's not super ideal. So, so that one was just really fascinating to me to kind of learn about something from a different part of the country. And
well, and his ladder. Remember his
and
ladder?
his ladder, yes.
Oh
yeah,
my
the idea of like going up a ladder with the guy lines to keep it from falling over and peeking in these woodpecker nests is just kind of crazy. And so I guess the other thing that we'll talk about, because one of the things I want to talk about is some of our plans for next year, and our cup chats that we already have planned. I might sneeze.
Oh, don't.
Okay, you're good.
I have to tell you though, I am so in love with our year in review cup chat. It's already scheduled for next year.
Okay.
I am loving this. I am loving it.
I mean, I figure, you know, it's kind of like the thing, all the magazines and newspapers and whatever do it. I figure, you know.
Why not on cup chat? I love it. Why didn't I think of this earlier? Okay. All right, so plans for 2020. Well, let's recap 2021 or 2020 first. I mean, think about how even in such a tremendously challenging year, and I don't know if this is where you were headed, but I mean, guys, we can't thank everyone enough for their support of Birding with Extension and all of our followers on our social media pages, all of our participants at our programs. I mean, Maureen, you realize we wanted to put people on a bus 3 years ago and drive from San Antonio, Austin to Del Rio, you know, and that I have to say we may revisit that as an option on a program at some point in the next 100 years. But, you know, I mean, we had 200 people join us for the first virtual birding seminar we did in April. We unfortunately had to cancel Birding the Border, but at the end of the day, Birding the Border 2021 is going to be better yet. We partnered with TOS. Bryan has committed to just being an awesome member of the team. We've launched the Flycatcher, which is our quarterly newsletter.
We have stickers.
We have stickers. Those are, I think those, Bryan, are those your favorite part of 2020?
It's up there, yeah.
It's up there. And then we hosted our first Learn to Bird program in the year of COVID. Filled up, had a wonderful time with everyone who joined us there. And I just can't say, I mean, even though 2020 has been a challenging year, and we have been blessed as Birding with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service to have a good year.
Yeah, I would agree.
Aww.
So you want to talk about what we're going to do next year?
Oh, do I get to go rogue or do I have to stick to the script?
Well, I was going to talk about my cup chat plans for next year.
Oh my!
Construction paper. I told you they were written.
You had mentioned those the other day.
So I won't go too far out because I haven't confirmed all of this necessarily with Emily.
You confirmed some of it,
but no. I'm about to make an executive decision on the first two because I feel like they're pretty safe. I don't think you'll get mad at me for. Actually, one of them was your idea, whether you remember it or not. So.
Okay.
The first thing that we're hoping to kick off with, well, early on, because we need to confirm this with the speaker, but like Bryan said, one of his favorite things was getting to hear from the different guides. And we do have a different photography guide than we had originally talked about. So Laura Keene did a big year and a big photography year in, I believe it was 2016, and she's going to be our photography guide, and she hasn't gotten a chance to talk yet. So Laura, if you're watching, I've been meaning to email you, and we're hoping you can join us early next year. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because she needs a chance to talk about herself and photography and that kind of thing.
I have really enjoyed creeping on her social media site. She does look like a phenomenal photographer.
She takes really, really good pictures, and like we had talked about, and you know, just kind of our idea for what photography looks like at Burning the Border is doing, you know, sitting in stands some, and in blinds, and then getting out and doing some habitat photography, just kind of a mix of both. And I think because, you know, she did a big year seeing the most species, and well, I don't know if she got the most species for that year, but she photographed the most species, like blew the previous record out of the water. So I think as far as somebody who combines photographing species and seeing species, she's a good mix for that too. So you won't just necessarily be sitting there all day taking pictures of one bird. You still want to see a bunch of different species. And I think she's a good mix for that. So, which, shameless plug, our photography track still has room. So if anybody's interested in photography.
Not a whole lot though. It's starting to fill up.
It is starting to fill up. Are we halfway full?
We are.
Or almost?
Almost halfway full.
Halfway full for our photography track.
Yeah.
So, and our photography track is smaller than the rest of ours.
There are only 8 spots on our photography track.
And I think we have 3.
We have 3 spots filled.
Yeah.
So, we need 6 to make the minimum. And I do have kind of a crazy idea if we don't make our minimums. So, be prepared, Maureen, for that later.
Okay.
But I'm telling you guys, go sign up now. Our beginner track is full. Our photography track is sure to fill soon with such an amazing guide like her. So if you're waiting on it, please don't. We know that we've had some people who waited on the beginner track. Please know that if there is an issue because of COVID and we have to cancel, everyone gets full refunds. So we know that that's kind of one of the could be someone's hang up. But if there is an issue because of COVID and we have to cancel, we will give everyone full refunds. Please know that we are planning plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan FGHI, and have pretty much brainstormed for any issues that we could have. And are definitely hopeful that Birding 2021 does not have to be canceled. I'm like really, really hopeful. So I
think at this point we're already like at plan H, and we're hoping if anything we can just move back up the list higher in the plans.
Yes. Yeah.
Reverse
Yeah, we have figured out as much of worst case scenario as we can. So
it's possible. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so the other cup chat, and this may be the one that we lead off with, depending on Laura's schedule, but I want to kind of make this a regular thing. Emily thinks it's fun sometimes to talk about controversial topics. And it is fun to have speakers on to talk about controversial topics, or just kind of even, you know, there's some things out there in birding that people have different opinions about. And so because we like to reach out to new birders,
Bryan, don't we?
Yeah, we want our beginner birders to know about some of those topics and just kind of hear different sides and what different birders think. And we won't, you know, we don't conclude it with this is the way it is. It's more of just, we want different people to share their sides of the story. So Bryan and I are going to kick this off next year with a splitting or lumping debate. I think I called them showdowns because they're not necessarily debates. Maybe Emily has a better, debate sounds kind of harsh. Okay, showdown. So Bryan and I are going to have a split or lump showdown where each of us is going to argue the virtues of splitting versus lumping for a species. So if
I get to be the mediator?
You get to be the mediator. Yes. Yes.
Ooh.
So for anyone who's curious about why is this a big deal, why do ornithologists argue about this and scientists, because it's not just a bird thing. This is like across all domains of biology. You know, why does it matter if we split or lump? Bryan and I will give you kind of a preview of some of the arguments that people come up with on each side, and it should be fun. So.
I love that. You know what I love even more is that you and I aren't going to get in a showdown.
We try to avoid Emily Maureen showdown.
Yes, and we have disagreements between the three of us, all of us, but we usually, I think the showdown term is a good word because we have agreed to disagree on one particular issue. And then like when Bryan and I have disagreed on livestock showing, we've come to some middle ground. And so I think showdown's a good thing because, you know, it just makes me laugh because, and Bryan's up there laughing, going, I know exactly what she's talking about. She definitely, they definitely have their agree to disagree moments. So
I enjoy it. Moments.
And you do. You are a terrible person. And then yesterday, Maureen almost instigated it on her own by sending that little picture on our. We have a group text message. We have lots of comments today. Oh my goodness, Stacy, thank you for joining us. Please. Oh, JC, thank you for joining us. Stephanie, good to join us. I just missed all the comments today. Yeah, you almost instigated it yourself, sending me a picture of a controversial subject between us, because I don't want to mention what it is, drawing a little heart around it and saying it was my favorite bird. And so you almost started the war yourself.
I knew I was pushing the buttons a little bit. But, you know, sometimes you got to know where those boundaries are, right? Like it's like a little kid. You have to see like, what can I get away with before this gets me into trouble? So
well,
we determined that boundary was right about there. I think I nailed the boundary line.
The boundary line was nailed because I wanted to reply back with, well, I have another reply, but it was okay.
Yeah.
I won't air my grievances on Cup Chat this morning. I will segue off into though, because all of that was occurring during our virtual birding seminar, which was wonderful. But can we really quickly holler out to our three speakers, Marky, Liam, and Madeline? All did a phenomenal job. Liam's research was super interesting. Marky was, gosh, her technology skills to upload those YouTube videos.
She took us on a trip with her. She took us in the field with her.
Yes, which was so cool. And then Madeline, I cannot get over her introduction slide. I have been on that since, I don't know when. I just kind of, I'm like, gosh, I really think she could be a graphic designer. It's gorgeous. She should really hang up her hat and make all of my PowerPoints for me. Okay,
see, we've got to be careful because she's currently a grad student. So that might be her, graphic design might be her backup plan. I don't want to get in trouble. Speaking of boundaries and not getting in trouble with people, I don't want to get in trouble with her advisor, who is a coworker of mine, by causing her to drop out of graduate school to pursue graphic design. So we got to let her finish her master's. So you do some graphic design on the side.
Okay, so go back to Cup Chats for the beginning of next year.
Well, I think those were kind of the ones. The other thing that I wanted to share that we'll probably do kind of, well, there'll be 3 sets of them probably, is we highlighted all of our guides who are awesome. We also need to share with y'all our buddies, because our birding buddies are so important to us. They're all local to this area. And they, what?
Local-ish. They don't all live in Valverde County.
Okay, that's true. Ish. Right. Local-ish. Some of them are Uvalde or Real County. But yeah, they are awesome, and they're volunteering their time to come help with this. And we definitely try to take care of our volunteers, but they're doing this because they believe in the mission of what we are doing, and they want to help. And they're just awesome. And so that's the other thing that we're going to do next year is, if you enjoyed our guide highlights, we're going to have some buddy highlights, which should be even a little bit more local focused for those of y'all that are still kind of wondering about the Valverde area and what exactly birding the border will be like. These are people who live here and have lived here for a while and can truly tell you, some of them are out birding every single day. So they really have their pulse on what species are here and the places to go and things like that. So I think that's it. That's all I'm willing to share right now without getting in trouble with Emily for how far out I have planned our Cup Chats for next year. I was on a roll. I just went for it.
I'm game. When you get on the roll, you get on the roll, even if it's on construction paper.
Yeah. So we're after 8. So we should probably.
Oh, but it's been so fun.
It has been fun.
So
I don't want to test the patience of our viewers.
I know. We are thrilled. Stephanie's joining us this morning. And Stephanie, I have a present coming to you and anyone else, because I have ordered, Stephanie inspired this at our Learn to Bird program. We have got a new sticker, and I have ordered them And Stephanie, you will get the first one, I promise. So if I don't have your mailing address, I will be getting in touch with you. We have a new lifer sticker. So anytime you are on a Birding with Extension program and you see a lifer, we're going to give you a sticker, and it has a blank. And you, Stephanie, it's not a big enough blank to write all your lifers from Learn to Bird. Maybe if you write them very small. But you inspired a new sticker, and we want to send that to you first. But super excited about that. But I thought I would mention that because Stephanie is joining us and said she had the day off of work and is able to watch us the whole time. So, gosh, I miss her. She was so.
The other thing you can put in there, which I had thought about, this may be pushing the nerdiness boundary, is if you want to put the 4-letter species codes, if you saw multiple lifer species on a trip, that might be a whole other cup chat discussion too, is those 4-letter and 6-letter species codes. That's like really getting into some of the weeds, and yet at the same time, it's kind of important for beginners to at least be aware of what that is when we're talking about those. Why people will call northern mockingbirds nomos for short, why our friendly little painted bunting who helped out our people at Learn to Bird is named Pablo, because it's kind of like Pabu and he's a painted bunting. So we might talk a little bit about those. We could even talk about my thought of what if you had a species with a common name, whose 4-letter code following the rules came out to be like a 4-letter word. So I've, even thought about that as well, because that would potentially be a concern. So that could be fun.
You are crazy.
Put it on the construction paper quick.
Well, I know. I have to add that and my idea about the shade grown coffee. So we are into July with our planned cup chats already. So
oh, we are. Brian, did you know that? I didn't know that. Brian, I think I missed where we got the official memos on being to cup chats in July. But I think that's great. I'm thrilled. Well, Maureen, I think you nailed cup chat this morning. I'm glad I let you take it over.
Thanks. I've learned from the best.
Aww. Well, Brian, I hate to say that we talk a lot and sometimes you're the quiet one, but sometimes we talk a lot and you're the quiet one. What are your thoughts in wrapping up 2020 and launching into 2021?
Well, like you said, I'm still just really impressed with all that we were able to accomplish this year, even with all of our difficulties and hurdles. But what I will say is that even though we had to cancel our in-person Birding the Border this year, it has given us that much more time to make Birding the Border 2021 be the most incredible experience that it can be. So this is the year to sign up for Birding the Border if you aren't already signed up, because it's going to be incredible. And I'm looking forward to it so much. And just all of our other programs, we're already thinking about new things potentially.
I think you can say it. I'm gonna say that you can say the title, not the location, because that's not confirmed.
Well, of which one?
Brian, are you thinking virtual or are you thinking in person? Because I was thinking we could potentially share a little bit of details about each of those.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah.
Because I already posted, for Learn to Bird, I already posted that on our website. So you can definitely say location and everything for that, if you want to talk about that.
Oh, so then there's 3.
There's 3 new things.
There's a lot of new things.
Oh,
no.
Like
you said, we keep adding water to the boat.
Hopefully it doesn't sink. Okay, so you take one, I'll take one, and then Maureen will take one, and then we'll be done. So you get to pick which one you want to talk about.
Okay, one that I'm really excited about that, like Maureen said, we've already sort of posted the dates for, is we are expanding our Learn to Bird program to a new location over near Houston, I think is the plan. So we're going to be reaching out to sort of that side of the state where we haven't been before, which is super exciting. The birding there near the coast is phenomenal. So I am really excited for that program myself. And I just thought our Learn to Bird program this year was so much fun. It's so successful. I think working with beginner birders is what I'm really most passionate about. So I am super excited for expanding Learn to Bird.
That's awesome. Okay, Maureen, do you want to take the virtual one, or do you want me to take the?
It doesn't matter. Take whichever one you want. I'll do the last
one I want to take because I've got the vision.
You want to wrap up with that, or you want to go right now?
I can go now.
Go. Okay.
Okay. So I'm excited. I have worked to develop a new program. Don't know where it's going to officially be yet. We have an idea. Can't say that now. But it goes back to the beginning. So when all of this started, Maureen and I did a one-ish day program called Birding 101. And it is not necessarily for anyone who knows anything about birding. You could know a little bit. You could just be interested in learning a little bit about birding, see if you like it. Anyway, so it's called Birding 101. And we're hoping to launch this it's a one-ish day program. It's 1 day kind of classroom style, hands-on activities inside or right outside, not actually birding. And then the following day you put your skills into use and we go on a bird walk. And so I'm super excited about launching that program this year. The location's not 100% confirmed. I'm hopeful that we have a location confirmed for that program. But hopefully we'll see that pop up somewhere across the state of Texas in 2021. So I'm excited about that one. And I have this huge vision for this awesome resource guide that would go with that program. And Maureen is saying, Emily, you're crazy. And I know, but I have a vision. So
I have my slightly nervous face, and yet it's like a mix of like I'm slightly nervous and yet I trust you is what's going on my face.
You could trust me a lot more if I was a graphic designer and I could make my vision a reality.
True.
But the problem is I'm not a graphic designer, and so that really throws some hiccups in the vision coming 100% to fruition without me stealing a bunch of pictures off of the internet. So once I get all the graphic design work done, the vision will be easy.
Yes.
And then I won't have to steal them off the internet. So maybe I need to become a graphic designer. Ooh, Madeline, quit your research. Come home.
Don't say that yet. She has to finish her research and then go work for us.
On the side, grad students aren't busy.
All right, so I will wrap up with our next virtual event because we are still in COVID stuff. And even if we weren't, virtual is really a fun way for people to join us from all across the state or even other parts of the country and get to connect and learn some things. So we had so much fun learning about research last night. But for some people, maybe you're not totally diving that much into the research side of birds. May not be Emily's favorite seminars in the world. I love
listening to it, but it's I sometimes it's over my head. Just saying.
But the fact that you enjoyed them last night does tell you what a good job they did sharing their research, because that can be hard to do. But anyhow, in the spring, late February, we are going for a much it's less sciencey, but it is no less important to understanding birds. And we are going to have someone who is very good at sketching come on and talk about how to sketch birds just for an hour. Come join us and learn how to sketch birds because this is really important. And I never really appreciated the importance of this because I'm terrible at drawing. When I draw pictures, it's seriously like a kindergartner did them. But I think the time that it most sunk into me was actually just this year at Learn to Bird before Learn to Bird, when Bryan and I were putting our PowerPoint together, and he shared his drawing of different sparrow head profiles and talked about the first time that he tried to draw one of those off of memory. And there's so many things that, like, if even a cardinal, like we've all seen cardinals a million times, but if you ask me to sketch the head of a cardinal right now and get the color, even just the colors right, like even if somebody gave me an outline of a cardinal and I had to color it in exactly right, I don't know that I'd 100% get it. Or maybe I could for a cardinal, but would I get it right for a sparrow? So again, even if you have that silhouette, just like paying attention to where those different colors and patterns are on the bird is so important. And that's something that sketching can help you learn. Bryan, is our instructor confirmed enough that I can share who that is? We're working on it. We think we have an awesome instructor. I'll say that. And we will announce her once all of our details are firmed up and we've got our date and our price. Again, this will be a fundraiser for Rio Diablo Birding Camp, and we're hoping to get a big turnout, and all of those donations will go to our youth. And I'm excited because it's something I know nothing about. And so I'm excited to learn and practice and see what we can do in an hour of learning how to sketch birds.
I can't wait to see your birding.
We will show, you know what, if we do it on a Tuesday, regardless of what day we do it, the next cup chat, we should like show off our work.
I'm not sharing mine. Well, unless it's good.
If I show mine, you have to show yours. I promise you mine will not be as good as yours. Mine will be worse.
We'll see.
Promise.
We'll see. We'll debate this.
Okay.
Anyways, well, we have officially gone well over our 30 minutes today. But I guess it kind of, if you needed to leave, you could watch parts of it for the rest of 2020, because we will not be on. We will be taking 2 weeks off and enjoying the holidays with our families, and we wish you happy holidays and Merry Christmas to your families. We are check out our Instagram on Monday. Sneak Creek, the three of us may be, we won't be together because of travel restrictions. Just kidding. So we will be joining each other virtually. Anyway, sorry, I will send a picture of that. Anyway,
let's just say there are rare birds everywhere right now, and the three of us are on quests. So watch Instagram, because hopefully we're successful and get to show you some cool stuff. So
absolutely. So that was a terrible wrap up. Let me start over. Thank you all for joining us. We hope you've had a wonderful 2020. We are so excited and so fortunate to have y'all as followers and supporters of Birding with Excitement. We are excited to go into 2021 and have a phenomenal year with Birding with Porter, virtual programming, new beginner programming coming out, our quarterly newsletter, The Flycatcher. All of that can be found on our website. Go check it out. We will be gone these next 2 weeks, but we are planning on having a wonderful end of the year cup chat recap, and it's just been fun. And guys, I hate to be all shucks moment, but I've just enjoyed being around the two of you a little bit virtually this year, and it's just been fun. So
yeah, thank you everybody.
Wonderful. Well, Bryan, Merry Christmas from Texas, and hopefully you have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll talk to everybody later.
See you next year.
Bye.